What's good, YouTube? It is your boy Big Cool coming to you from Colossal Sports TV, and I am back with another Google Hangout. I will be joined in a few by some guests, but until then, man, we're gonna talk about some of the latest, hottest news in the sport of boxing. But before we get into that, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, turn those notifications on, share these videos, and drop those comments in the comment section down below. But let's talk about some of the news coming out of the sport of boxing today. And there's a whole bunch of news, man. Not only today, but yesterday as well. I'll be going live every Wednesday and Sunday. So make sure you mark your calendars for that. But I want to start off talking about Jarrell Big Baby Miller, who has came out from hiding now that the whole Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz Jr. Situation and fight is over with. We already know Andy Ruiz shocking the world, shocking Anthony Joshua, and becoming the new unified heavyweight champion of the world. But Jarrell Big Baby Miller, and you can find this article on 3kingsboxing.com, has came out and stated this: we starting VADA to show we are 100% clean. And obviously, he has an uphill battle and a long way to go to regain the trust and respect from not only his fans, but his fellow, boxers and peers who are looking at him sideways like, dude, you talked all that shit about Anthony Joshua doing performance enhancing drugs, and it come out that that you not only doing PEDs, but you doing everything else under the sun. And I'm gonna read a little bit of his quote. So this is what he had to say. Oh, so right now we starting VADA in about a week or two, and we'll be on that for about 6 months straight. Just getting everything aligned with the commission, with the sanctioning bodies to show that we are 100% clean. That is this a one-time mistake, that this was an accident. He also went on to say this: the only reason that I didn't do any interviews up to this point was because I was trying to give respect to Andy and AJ and Matchroom and DAZN. Let them do their own thing. Let me step out of the picture because I can talk up a storm. So, he got popped for a whole bunch of shit that sent his $7 million payday reportedly down the drain in his opportunity to do what Andy Ruiz did, and that is shock the world by defeating Anthony Joshua to claim those unified heavyweight titles. Not only that, but do it in front of his hometown in New York. You know what I'm saying? This was supposed to be his moment, but instead he flubbed it up by, looking for shortcuts, but he got caught, he got exposed, and now he has to deal with those consequences, and he has nobody to blame but himself, and it is unfortunate because he had an excellent chance of pulling off the upset like Andy Ruiz did. But when you doing dirt and everything, it will come to light eventually, one way or another. And that is exactly what happened with Jarrell Big Baby Miller. And now he can only, do what he's supposed to do. Stay clean, enroll in not only the VADA, but, the WBC drug program to show that he is authentic and genuine in the words that he's saying, because ain't nobody really gonna believe nothing he say until he actually enrolls and pass these strenuous and random pop-up drug tests to show, what, it was an accident, or I learned from my bad decision making, and now I want to rectify this and want to continue a clean rest of my boxing career, and hopefully get himself in position to fight for a world title again. But like I said, he has a long way to go. It won't be easy to get in the good graces of the boxing fans, his peers, fellow boxers, trainers, and people that is involved in the sport. But that's something that he has to deal with, and hopefully his time away will put him in a better state of mind and allow him to focus and understand that he did wrong, but he can redeem himself by following the strict protocol that VADA requires, and hopefully, turning this mistake into a big turnaround in the future whenever he gets the opportunity to do so. He's currently still suspended by the New York State Athletic Commission. We don't know when that will be up. I think it's 6 months, and he says that he doesn't want to fight anywhere, even though he can. He wants to fight in the states, and I salute him for that because it's easy to say, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna just go to Europe or go to the UK, Africa, wherever it may be, and fight and get licensed there. But now he wants to, you know, accept his punishment and do his time and and move on from there. So I got to give him props and respect for that. But I mean, this is what he said about paying Vada. I paid him a total of $6,000 to test the materials he was using to guarantee that everything was on the level. And if this was true, the two things spring to mind. First, why vindicate him or some shit. I don't know what the fuck I'm reading, but anyway, you know what I'm saying. Jarrell Big Baby Miller will be talking again now that the whole fiasco is behind him somewhat, and that it's coming close. He will be fighting eventually, probably before the year's up, and we'll see how he's received by Eddie Hearn and everybody else that have a professional working relationship with him, because I know that Eddie Hearn has some huge, disrespectful words to say about him, and I can't lie, you can't blame him. You know what I'm saying? Because it's his job to uphold the integrity of not only the sport but of himself as a fighter who has a high standard for himself. A guy that talks as much as he does, he should know better. But if you knew better, you do better, and that's pretty much all I got to say about this topic. I also want to talk about a big fight, man, that is set for July 27th. Maurice Hooker versus Jose Ramirez. This is a unification bout. Maurice Hooker is the WBO junior welterweight champion. Jose Ramirez is the WBC junior welterweight champion, and this will be one of two junior welterweight unifications taking place. As you all know, Regis Prograis and Josh Taylor will be fighting and unifying their titles in the World Boxing Super Series Junior Welterweight Tournament later on this year. And I imagine the winner of that tournament will be pit or could potentially be pit against the winner of Hooker versus Ramirez, which is an outstanding fight. Maybe not so much because these guys are looked at as highly skilled fighters, if they are skilled, but because this is a unification bout. And this is taking another step to clearing who is actually the top dog at 140 pounds. We got our favorites, we got our speculations, but we don't necessarily know until these guys get in the ring with one another and throw down and see who comes out unscathed or the least scathed and have their hands raised. But this fight will take place in Arlington, Texas. We know that Maurice Hooker is from, I think, Dallas, Texas, or if not, he's very close nearby from the Dallas area. And, he's an undefeated fighter, 26-0 with 3 draws, 17 wins coming by knockout. Ramirez is 24-0 with 16 knockouts. And this is going to be an intriguing battle because Hooker kind of put me in the mind of Amir Imam in terms of his height. He may be an inch taller, have a longer reach. He's not as athletic as Amir Imam, in my opinion, but he has that upright stance. He can punch. He's shown to have some resiliency, in his fight with Alex Aceto, where a lot of people thought he was going to lose that fight. He knocked him out and retained his title. We've seen what he did against Terry Flanagan when he traveled over there to the UK in Flanagan's backyard and won that title. So he is coming into his own. He wasn't looking as impressive once he stepped up. I guess I forget the guy he fought, but he was on Kovalev Ward 1, and I felt he clearly lost the fight. But since then, he has made gradual improvements. Like I said, he has a good jab, decent hand speed. He's tall and rangy. He got good punch, good power on his punches. As for Ramirez is a guy, is a former Olympian. He can box, he can punch. He's a good body puncher. He's really tough and resilient. You know, he got hit with some hard shots in this fight for Ramirez, in this fight with Imam, where he won that WBC title, and it never deterred him. It never wavered his confidence and his belief in himself. So I expect this to be a good fight. Both of these guys have defended their titles. Both of these guys are undefeated. Both of these guys have a chance to put themselves in a big position to face the winner of the WBSS World Boxing Super Series Junior Welterweight Final between Regis Prograis and Josh Taylor. What's good, Bo?
What's good, fam? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Shit, so I'm talking about this unification bout that's gonna be taking place July 27th in Arlington, Texas, between the WBC champion Jose Ramirez and the WBO champion Maurice Hooker. I know y'all gonna talk about it tomorrow on y'all show, but give me a little quick thoughts on this fight. Who do you favor just on the early on without even studying film and breaking down anything?
You know, it's funny, man, because without even studying film or breaking down anything, just off the eye test, you would look at Ramirez
Mm-hmm.
and you could make a very good case for him, right?
Yeah.
Like when in the Jose Zepeda fight when Ramirez fought, okay, he showed me some things that I hadn't seen previously. So his not just winning the title, but some of the fights he had helped, improve him, right?
Yep.
Then you can also look at Maurice Hooker. And you can say the same thing about Hooker. Hooker came a long way from that one fight he had where he got the victory, but he should have took that L.
Yep. I was just
Right?
saying that on the undercard award, Kovalev won.
Right, that was it. Undercard award, Kovalev won. He should have took that L. But he came a long way from that. And then he had that exciting fight with Alex Aceda. And then I think he had another fight after that, right?
Yeah,
So
some dude from Canada or a black dude with a Canadian last name.
yeah, like a French Canadian last name or something, right?
Yeah, yep.
So so both of these dudes, man, you can say, they've come a long way from those type of fights. But it's to me, honestly, man, it's a 50-50 fight. Now, if I had to actually lean toward someone, I would kind of lean a little bit toward Maurice Hooker only because that war he had with Salcedo, that showed me that, hey, Hooker's the kind of cat that if it gets tough, he can grind it out. He'll, you know what I'm saying? Like he'll grind it out for sure with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then again, man, you look at, like I said, man, you look at Ramirez and you can definitely see, Ramirez is starting to turn into a better boxer. So it's a 50-50 fight, dog. It's just if you're going off the eye test, like and you know what? It's a good fight too.
Yeah, it is. It's really good.
Fight, man. It's a really good fight. See, sometimes Hooker had these moments where he knows what to do, but he don't do it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because from an athletic standpoint, Hooker, we like I said, man, we've seen it, but he has the moments, man, when you can see he has the mental lapses, right?
Yeah.
And then like I said, Ramirez, Ramirez is decent. I think his he can be countered. I think sometimes when he throws the jab, he leaves it out there a little bit too long. And then sometimes he keeps his chin up right when throwing the combination, so he can be countered, he can be caught. So to me, though, it's gonna be a good fight, man.
And I'll say this, people that's watching, make sure y'all hit that like button and drop a comment, man, giving us y'all thoughts on this. But I'll say this, I get that vibe from Hooker. He's just one of those guys you're going to look up, and I could be wrong. He could lose this fight. He could lose very well against Taylor versus Prograis winner. But he looks like one of those guys you look like, damn, he's still champion. You know what I'm saying? He ain't the best, but not a knock. This not a knock, but you know what I'm saying? Because I think he can get a little better, but I don't know how much better he can get. But he does. He got some type of resilience about him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's something he pulled from his personal life, professional career being doubted. You know what I'm saying? And counted out. But it's just like I'm trying to think of a fighter in history, and you'll be able to name one. You know what I'm saying? Because you got a rich history of boxing. But you ever just see a fight, you're like, damn, you still champion. Not that you're not a great fighter, but it's just like,
oh yeah,
like damn, man, you ain't as athletic, you ain't as quick. You know what I'm saying? You don't punch hard, but you just do everything good.
Actually, the fighter you're thinking about, you can say that about Andre Ward. Andre Ward was not great at many things, at any one thing in particular. He was just very good, and he had the mental mind. He had the mental makeup, right, to
Yep.
go through them fights. But Andre Ward didn't have fast hand. Andre Ward had good footwork, and Andre Ward had a great inside boxing game. And fighters
Mm-hmm.
that don't do inside fighting. But when you look at Andre Ward, though, I mean, I'm quite sure there's people that looked at that like, damn, this dude's still a champion. Yeah, he's still a champion.
Yeah. Or I look at a guy like Tim Bradley. You know what I'm saying? Because if we think about it, he didn't. I mean, he had fast hands. He was well conditioned.
He's had fast hands.
Yeah.
Brad's problem was he thought he could knock motherfuckers out, and that was never the case. That
Yeah.
was Bradley's problem, man.
Yeah. And I think, but I like Hooker. He went through some adversity in that Terry Flanagan fight. Not because I think he was hurting that fight, but then he went over there to the backyard. Because honestly, look, we did a fucking podcast or discussing this fight. It was me. Who was it? Me, you. I ain't gonna say the other guy's name. And 2K. You know what I'm saying? And we discussing this fight. That's when we was like, man, Hooker gonna win. I think you thought Flanagan gonna win, but I know me and 2K was like Hooker gonna win, but we think he'd get robbed. And I think that him being able to go over there and get a decision has boosted his confidence to feel like, you know what, I could travel aboard, I could travel to Oklahoma, or I could travel wherever, and I can get the job done. So I expect a good fight, man. I expect an action fight. I wouldn't be shocked if both of these guys touch the canvas. It's a fight of your type fight because both of these guys have leaky defenses. Both of them have mental lapses, like you said, and both of them possess a big enough punch to put one another down and possibly get a TKO stoppage. So I look forward.
Now if it comes to that, and that's another reason why I lean to Hooker. Hooker at least showed me that he'll bounce back from that. That war with Salcedo was deep. He had to dig deep in that war he had with Salcedo, right?
Yep.
I don't know if Ramirez is. I think he'll dig deep. I don't know if he can dig that deep if it goes like that.
Do you think? I mean, do you think? Not to cut you off, but I go back to it's a fight with Amir Mum early. I mean, early on, Amir Mum was hitting him with some hard shit. I mean, Amir Mum can hit hard. We give him that. You know what I'm saying?
Weaken Amir Mum, and that was the thing because you saw that you can weaken Amir Mum. Like you saw, I think prior to that, Amir Mum had lost to what's that cat's name?
For the Adrian Granados.
Was it Granados?
Yeah, it was Adrian Granado pulled the upset off.
Okay, yeah. So prior to that, he had already lost. So you had already saw lapses in Amir Mum, right?
Yeah.
So you went into that fight with a better sense of confidence because hey man, this dude has mental lapses. This dude can be gotten to. He might let it go. On there with Hooker, you can't think that because he's already shown, man. If it gets like that, I got to be able to dig as deep as him. So my best bet is to keep this in where I'm comfortable at, which is mid-range. I'm better at mid-range. I can't let this turn into an all-out war because if it does, that dude at least showed me he can do that all-out war.
Yes, sir. And let me put a spin on this, right? Let's talk about it, not the actual fight, but let's talk about both guys' representatives. We all know that Jose Ramirez is promoted by Top Rank, who is exclusively aligned himself with ESPN, and we know Maurice Hooker is promoted by Eddie Hearn and Matchroom USA in the Zone, which is on the Zone. Now, this is is this the second fight? I think because they or whatever. I don't know what other fight they made, but they've been talking. Yeah, the Luke Campbell and Vasily Lomachenko fight.
Right.
So obviously this is great to see because now this fight is going to be
Anthony
on the
Croya. Anthony Croya.
Yeah.
Croya.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I think Luke. I think he's. The WBC ruled that he have to face Luke Campbell for that belt. Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to get to is that this fight is taking place on the Zone. And the Lomachenko Campbell fight take place on ESPN, and this is a pleasure to the boxing fans and media alike because we get to see Bob Arum and Eddie Hearn making a deal, and Eddie Hearn and Al Heyman making a deal for the rematch with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, which hasn't been officially announced, but that is what likely going to be announced once the completion of Ortiz. Wilder too, assuming that Wilder is successful in defending his title again. But this gives me hope that all these fights that we want to see can happen and sooner than later. You know what I'm saying? Bud Spence, Prograis Spence, because Prograis eventually he gonna want Spence and so forth and so on. So I think that it's really starting to kind of clear out. You know what I'm saying? I think it's more so on the fighters. Because because Hooker and Ramirez didn't have to fight each other. They could have kept feasting on these other guys until somebody said, "Look, man, y'all are BSing." You know what I'm saying? Or until somebody forced them in the corner. So I think this is a prime example of fighters wanting to fight each other. You know, because that's the only way you're gonna get up monetarily is if you step up.
Well, one thing that you're missing is what other choice these two dudes have when you look at the division. Everybody's busy. You got cats in the WBSS tournament; they're busy. So what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like you just said, it's like, okay, well, these guys got to do something because most of the other top guys in the WBSS tournament, we done already signed on saying these guys are gonna fight. So we don't like. I get what you're saying, but it's a situation of they kind of didn't have a choice because all of the other top quality dudes were busy. So what, like you said, so what y'all gonna do? Keep fighting these bum ass motherfuckers that don't nobody want to see you fight? No,
True.
So
Jump in, 2K.
I don't even know what the fuck y'all talking about.
we talking about Maurice Hooker versus what's the nigga name?
Jose
Jose
Ramirez.
Ramirez. Yeah, I know y'all gonna talk about it. So just give me a little quick synopsis on it and your take on the fight. Who you got as an early favorite without breaking down any tape or film on this?
Yeah, I kind of figured that's who y'all talking about because y'all said WBSS. But, I mean, it's a good fight. I'm glad they're doing it because what happens is it shows that there's still enough going on in a division outside the WBSS tournament. You know what I'm saying? To where the division's that deep. Also, it shows that two champions who are on two different platforms, one's on DAZN, the other one's on ESPN, they're willing to come together to make the fight happen. I was actually a little skeptical when we reported on this early. We were 3 days early, and when we reported on this, I was a little skeptical. I was gonna put it up anyway, but I was still a little skeptical that it would actually happen. But we reported it as it, pretty much being a done deal. And my thing is how the fuck are they going to? Is Top Rank going to coincide with Matchroom and DAZN and shit? And then they're saying the fight's going to be on DAZN, right? I was skeptical of that, but they got the shit done, which I think me and Bo were talking about this. Some podcast, one of them episodes, I don't remember which one, but we were saying, Top Rank hasn't done no business with Eddie Hearn on DAZN or any, Eddie Hearn hasn't done, Eddie Hearn has done business with Top Rank on ESPN. But they haven't done anything with going to DAZN. And this right here just showed us that they're able to do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's up, man. It's a good thing. It's showing that DAZN is willing to make fights not just with Zanford Promotions, but with other major entities in the sport, or at least promotional companies in the sport, and bring them onto their platform. You know what I'm saying? So maybe, there's a possibility that Al Heyman and shit will, that PBC fighters can go over to DAZN for particular fights. That'll be good for Jamal Charlo at 160. You know what I'm saying? This right here is good news for that nigga, since he don't want to go up to 168, don't want to fucking move back down to 154, but still want to be with PBC. Well, this is good news of that nigga. Only thing is, it ain't Al Heyman, so it's good, and it's like, news that don't mean shit to him until Al Heyman does something. But it is what it is, man. I like the fight. I think Maurice Hooker about to get his ass whooped. You know what I'm saying?
See, well, you on a different spectrum from me and Bo. I mean, I ain't got a final prediction, but I'm leaning towards Hooker. But
Hooker's too flawed, man. He's too technically flawed. Too technically flawed, man. Even the boy, what's the cat's name? Jose Zapata is a better boxer than Maurice Hooker. Look, go back and watch Hooker versus Terry Flanagan, man. That was the worst technically sound fight I've ever seen in my life, bro. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers are two technical boxers, but did not know how to judge distance, didn't know how to utilize the range. You got Maurice Hooker jabbing all off and shit, all inaccurate. And these niggas throwing punches, standing right. Look, what was that? What was that on the Boondocks? Remember them two niggas was talking shit on the street, and then they both pulled guns and just started shooting at each other, and both of them niggas was missing. That's what that fight looked like.
it was. When you think about it, yeah, Maurice Hooker, well, he is upright. he is a little not as overly athletic and shit. But I mean, hey, we're gonna see. We're gonna see
Yeah,
because shit.
okay, no, we gonna see because listen,
Ramirez ain't the. I mean, Ramirez just getting pieced up by Cepeda too. But
Cepeda's a good boxer though, man, and
he's a good boxer. Go
he's a
ahead.
good boxer. He's a good mover. Maurice Hooker has the dimensions of a boxer, but he don't box like that.
Mm-hmm.
That nigga's a boxer puncher, and he doesn't move very well. You know.
What are you?
appreciate it, see, good fella, man. Appreciate the donation.
And it was good. I'm not looking at the chat, but what's good fella. But yeah, man, like he just don't move well enough, dog. For me, when we try to compare him to Zepeda. Now I know he knocked out Alex Saucedo, but Alex Saucedo was trash, bro.
Well, that
you know
was
what I'm saying?
Well, see, that's why I said if listen, if you ask me who I would lean towards, I said I would just without really looking at it, I would kind of lean toward Hook. And the reason being is if it turns into a slugfest like we saw with Alex Zepeda, I at least saw the Hooker go to war and was able to survive that war. If it turns into a war, will Jose Ramirez have enough to dig down deep enough to survive that? That'd be my only question.
Absolutely. Look at him. Look
I
at
think
his
that fight with Zepeda was tough. I don't know if it was tough. I can't say that because I mean it's hard to gauge like that. But I think Zepeda was a tough fight. You know what I'm saying? I think Ramirez he got dog in him. You know what I'm saying? But
that's his style. Of course he's gonna come up to the plate and take the challenge of a nigga wanting to slug with him. That's fucking Ramirez's style. The reason why Zepeda was such a difficult fight is because of the angles and the footwork, man.
No, Zepeda. No, I definitely because when he chose to fight Zepeda, I said, "Yo, that's a good fight," because Zepeda is definitely like a lot of cats don't realize that Zepeda's a very good boxer. I said, so that's a definitely good goddamn fight, and he showed me a lot in that fight that he can actually fight at mid range, and I was shocked by that.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? I was shocked by that, but I'm just I don't know, man. It's
Hooker too stationary, man. He's too that nigga
I said that before you got on. I said the problem with Hooker is he got the tools to do what he needs to do, but the motherfucker don't.
Nah, and man, I've never been big on Maurice Hooker all the way back to amateurs, all the way back to seeing him in the gym here in Dallas. He's nah, man.
No,
he's
that
all
fight
right.
He should have lost. What was that? That fight he should have lost. Andre Ward Kovalev fight. I said that fight.
Darlise Perez.
Right. I said he should have lost that fight, and he did.
He got beaten. I had that nigga only winning like 4 rounds in that fight, man. He was thoroughly outclassed. Now I will say this: he's a better fighter than he was then. Now,
yeah, I said that too.
But he's not. He's still not. To me, he's still. I mean, listen, man. Styles make fights. Everybody says it. Everybody knows this, right?
Mm-hmm.
The style that Jose Ramirez possesses is a bad style matchup for Maurice Hooker. Maurice Hooker is stationary almost to the point of how Amiri Mom was stationary, man. That's why Ramirez is able to run that nigga the fuck over. You know what I'm saying? Now, Maurice Hooker has more volume, much more volume than Amiri Mom. Amiri Mom is stationary. He's like Adrian Broner almost. Stationary, he sits behind that shoulder roll, tries to counter niggas all day long. That's Amiri Mom. Maurice Hooker's not that. He's actually throwing a lot of punches. Very high volume puncher, but he's still stationary. That's my problem. You got to move against Ramirez just like Zepeda did. You see what I'm saying? Zepeda was high volume, but he was moving. You know, he was giving angles. Maurice Hooker doesn't do that, man. So if you're just going to stand there in the center line throwing punches against a guy that is built and bred to take shots to give his own, well, I'm going with the guy that's the more aggressive fighter who's supposed to, he's built and bred to be that way. I'm going with him. You know what I'm saying? And look at what Top Rank has done. Not only did they say, yeah, we'll go to the zone, they said we'll go to Dallas.
mm-hmm.
Them niggas, they super confident over there. They see something that I see. You know what I'm saying? So I got Ramirez all day.
Let me ask you this question too, Kay. Would you be surprised if Hooker won?
Would I be surprised? No, because Ramirez has his flaws. Okay. He doesn't really have a good defense. Takes a lot of shots. Mm-hmm. No, I wouldn't be surprised. But
keeps his head up too high in between combinations. He can
what I would be surprised about is if Hooker knocks him out. That would surprise me.
Yeah, that would surprise me too.
Yeah. but if Hooker wins a 12-round decision, no, because we just said the motherfucker has the dimensions to be able to box. So he might surprise us and come in there and box from the outside the entire fight and move around the ring. He might do that. He has the dimensions. He has the reach advantage, the height advantage. You know what I'm saying? He has, even though he's stationary, he's still got the better footwork in terms of being a boxer, right? So who knows? But guys like Hooker, man, they succumb to pressure, man. That's why Hooker was losing to Darlis Perez. They succumb to pressure. You know what I'm saying? Terry Flanagan was trying to outbox him, and it ended up being a fucking bore fest and shit. Two niggas, not hitting each other at all, punching air and shit the whole goddamn fight. But guys like Hooker succumb to pressure, and that's what I'm saying. Jose Ramirez, that nigga's a master at pressure fighting, dog. It's gonna be a problem for him.
All right, man. Next subject, because after this, we're about to get into some fun and shit, man. Some laughing, roasting and shit. But Callum Smith, apparently, Frank Warren, the promoter of Billy Joe Saunders, says he has sent over an offer of a 50-50 split to WBA super middleweight champion Callum Smith and his representative. I think the trainer of Smith came out and said we haven't received any offer, but let's say they did receive an offer or whatever, or it's on the way. Would y'all like this fight? How y'all rate this fight on a 1 to 10 scale? I think it's a good fight. I would favor Smith, but the slickness and the foot movement and the boxing ability of Saunders is something that could cause Smith a lot of problems because he's been underwhelming at times in his career, but he got that long reach and that height advantage that could keep Billy Joe Saunders at the end of his jab and, neutralize that foot movement. What do y'all think, Bo?
I like this fight for this reason right here, man. Billy Joe Saunders is finally finna fight a top fucking level goddamn fighter.
Maybe.
Fucking
what you talking about, man? He fought IBO champion Chris Eubank Jr.
And he fought David Lemieux, man. Come on, man. You got to put some respect on Lemieux. Fandango.
Right, yeah.
The hardest middleweight puncher in the world in the history of boxing, man.
Damn. I can't ride with you on that.
That's a troll. I'm not. I'm bullshit.
He's finally finna fight a top level fucking fighter. Now we gonna see what he's got. Now, you said it though. Callum Smith also does have his flaws. He does have the height. He does have the reach. But Callum Smith can be countered. Callum Smith can be dragged. Like, he gets so anxious to try to get at you sometimes. Like when he was going at George Groves. He was so anxious to get at George Groves, he wasn't even looking to throw the jab. He was just looking to land a big punch. Right?
Can't do that against Saunders.
They do that against a cat like Saunders. Chris Eubanks tried that. We saw what the fuck happened. David Lemieux tried that. We saw what the fuck happened. Then you cannot at all, period, have a lazy low moment. Sometimes Smith will throw that jab and keep it out there too long. Well, Andy Lee tried that, and we saw what the fuck happened to him. Right? Mm-hmm. So you're not going to be able to do that. But this is going to be, he finally going to fight a top level guy, but make no mistake about it. This is going to be the best fighter that Callum Smith has ever faced in his entire career. He ain't never faced nobody like Billy Joe. Billy Joe, like you said, southpaw, slick, good counter puncher, good footwork. So I like this fight. My question is, after this, are they gonna look toward David Benavidez, who will win that belt back when Anthony Dirrell stop acting funny and shit?
Well, you got Caleb Plant that's gonna say, "Hold on, Bo. Hold on now." I'm
fighting Mike. No,
I'm just saying. I'm talking about. I'm saying he's still the final piece. You know what I'm saying, to the puzzle. If they go the route of Benavidez over him, you know what I'm saying, because he gonna beat Mike Lee. We know this. But 2K.
No, we don't know. Don't say that.
I forgot. Andy Ruiz. My bad, bro. My bad, dog. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You send him a case of burritos, he might knock out Plant. So hey, maybe
Steve Rose might knock out Golovkin. Goddamn it!
That's definitely not happening. That's definitely not happening right there. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. But 2K, what's your thoughts on this fight, man? I know you like this fight, probably.
God, hell yeah, it's an excellent fight, man. It's definitely, I think it's a best matchup on both guys' resumes. You know what I'm saying? Up to this point, man. Callum Smith is a bad motherfucker, man. 6'3", I think he is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know how tall Billy Ho is, but at the end of the day, 6 foot. Okay.
Let me look it up.
At the end of the day, Callum Smith, in my opinion, just looking at the two guys in the ring, he's a taller fighter. He's got the longer reach. Now, Bo made a good point. Sometimes Callum Smith goes in there and doesn't utilize all the tools in his tool chest that he should be utilizing against certain opponents. I remember when he fought that motherfucker from the Netherlands, Nicky Holskin or some shit like that.
Oh, that shit was horrible, bro.
Nicky Coleslaw, whatever nigga name is. He fought that motherfucker. Yeah, that was a terrible fucking fight. And a lot of people was like, well, he didn't have time to prepare for him. Well, there was nothing to prepare for. This is an ex-kickboxer turned fighter and shit, or boxer. You know what I'm saying? And the nigga from the Netherlands on top of that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't losing no nigga from the Netherlands unless it's Cecilia Brackets. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying, bro. There was really nothing to prepare for, and he looked like straight up dog doo-doo, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
He 5'11".
Yeah, I bet. So, but then he goes in there against George Groves and knocks George Groves out. But part of that can be attributed to the fact that George Groves came off that injury. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So George Groves definitely wasn't who he normally was. At least he wasn't who he was against Chris Eubank Jr. when he fought Callum Smith. Not taking anything away from Smith, just pointing out the fucking obvious, right? And then you got that nigga with two last names that lost in the goddamn Olympics. I don't even want to say his name. I don't even know why they took that fucking fight. You know what I'm saying? That was easy. I didn't even want to watch it. I didn't watch it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going back and watch fights I missed and shit last weekend that y'all covered. I skipped this one. I don't need to watch that shit because I already knew it was going to happen the way it happened. You know what I'm saying? You talking about a nigga that got knocked down 11 times in his career, bro. 7 of those 11 times or 6 of those 11 times was against Peter Quillen. So, I mean, I don't want to see this nigga fight, you know what I'm saying, Callum Smith, but it is what it is. That fight didn't tell me shit. But what I'm looking at is Callum Smith can end up being a guy who deviates from a game plan that he should probably be using against certain fighters. That's the only knock on Callum Smith. And like y'all said earlier, if this nigga comes into the fight against Billy Joe Saunders, not utilizing that jab, not utilizing that reach, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be a tough night. But on paper, I think it's a tough night for Billy, man. Real talk.
Yeah, I tend to think so too, man. Like you said, this is by far, you know what I'm saying, at least Caleb Smith got George Groves. Yes, he wasn't 100%, I don't believe, but still, he got that guy. I mean, you got fucking Chris Eubank is trash. He's trash. Don't let that DeGale win fool you. Yeah, he's absolutely garbage. And then David Lemieux, we know what he is. You know what I'm saying? He's just a guy that can punch hard and like to slick his hair back and shit.
He got his girlfriend black though, bro.
Well, you know, he chose right. He chose right. You know, can't blame him.
Well, you know, he's from Canada.
Yeah, she might not be black. She Canadian, nigga.
Yeah, she black on the outside, white on the inside. Hey, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We'll give him that. She got the right complexion. In terms of, never mind. Anyway, like I was saying, y'all didn't get me X'd out of this bitch. Nah, but damn, nigga, you made me forget what I was about to say. But yeah, the reach and length, I think Smith will probably pull away from this fight. I think that Billy Joe Saunders is going to be giving up too much. And if Smith can cut the ring off, then it's really nothing Billy Joe Saunders going to do. He's going to have to be really clicking on all cylinders. His footwork going to have to be on level 10, and he's really going to just have to be focused because he like to goof off and shit in there. And when you're a guy like Smith that really don't have to be close to, you know, get effective punches off and land effective punches, that bodes well for you. You know what I'm saying? So I hope to see the fight. I hope it's done. I hope it gets done. But you know how them UK cats be, you know what I'm saying, sometime and shit. So we just have to wait and see.
Another thing about Smith is that motherfucker is actually pretty smart. Outside of the fact that, like I said, he ends up being a different fighter than he should be against certain opponents. But when he's on his game, man, the nigga's IQ level is pretty decent, man. It's really good. You know what I'm saying? Actually, I would actually say both of these guys are pretty strong, or not strong, but similar in terms of IQ level, which is gonna make for an even better fight. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point, because when you look at it, we really don't know what the level of Billy Joe's IQ is because of the type of fighters he's fighting. He's supposed to look good against them dudes, right?
Well,
you know what I'm saying? You don't have to dig deep in your IQ resume to beat a David Lemieux. That's what I'm saying.
Well, the thing is, he didn't fight. Listen, he didn't fight Chris Eubank Jr. the way that he probably should have the entire fight, but he did it against David Lemieux. So that told me right there, I was like, okay, I see that this nigga understands that in certain matchups, he's got to do this. Man, he beat the dust off David Lemieux. Now, we clowning David Lemieux, but he is a former IBF champion. You know what I'm saying? So while David Lemieux is very one-dimensional, Billy Joe Saunders did exactly what he was supposed to do. He didn't slip up like he did against Chris Eubank Jr. Chris Eubank Jr. is one-dimensional. You see what I'm saying? But he slipped up against him. He allowed Chris Eubank Jr. on the inside multiple times in that fight. That's why he only got a split decision win. Against Lemieux, he didn't let that nigga inside at all. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but what I'm saying is, like what you said, they're one-dimensional. So he realized, okay, I'm dealing with another one-dimensional cat. So what I'm saying, like you don't have to dig. Like for a Callum Smith, I'm really gonna see how deep your IQ level goes with a Callum Smith, and vice versa with Callum Smith. I'm really gonna see how deep your IQ level goes when you're in there with Billy Joe, and that's what I like about it. It's like, you know, you got two guys that this fight is gonna elevate the winner of this fight, in my opinion, especially if somebody gets knocked out.
Hell yeah.
All right, man. So hopefully September we'll get that clash between these two guys and see who the best fighter out of those two. But let's talk about something, man. I done seen a lot of people, you know, I feel give too much praise for Anthony Joshua being a good sport. I know that may sound crazy, but it seemed like he getting I can't even look for the word I'm trying to describe this shit. But it's like everything I see on Facebook, I see on
getting his ass whooped. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah. What did they say again? I couldn't hear you. You broke up a little bit.
The nigga getting the attaboy for getting his ass whooped. That's
It's like you know, I'm a soldier and this ain't over and all the other shit he been talking about. People was actually praising him after he got his ass. He was hugging and laughing and rubbing Ruiz's stomach and, you know, offering to, you know, take him to the best taco spot in New York. And I just feel like, what the fuck has happened? Like, why does it matter if a guy is ultra, you know, nice after getting his ass beat? I mean, like, we putting a fucking spotlight on the wrong thing. Yeah, you should have good sportsmanship, but it sounds like the beta male shit or beta female shit too, that people love a loser. You know what I'm saying? I guess it depends on who you are losing.
You can't be a beta female because a beta male is a female.
Well.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Listen, we talked about this shit already, man, on the podcast. The majority of, and the UK niggas get mad if they want. We got quite a few UK niggas that fuck with our podcast that didn't get mad, so it is what it is. The majority of UK fans, or at least the fans of Anthony Joshua, are fucking beta males, nigga. That's why they were fine with the nigga saying, you know, I will most likely lose at one point in my career. They was okay with that dumb beta male fag shit. You know what I'm saying? But then, and now they okay with this dumb beta male pussy shit talking about, yeah, you know, I'm a soldier, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I got to take it like a man. The way he said it, I'm like, you talking about taking dick in the ass? Nigga, you talking about taking it like a man. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck you talking about? Man, nigga, listen, ain't no soldier gonna go out there and get knocked out in the 7th round en route, or let me say this, knocked down 4 times en route to the 7th round knockout stoppage to a big fat blubbery. I'm just saying, man. Listen, no disrespect, Andy Ruiz. You know what I'm saying? Andy Ruiz is a decorated amateur, very good fighter. Only lost to Joseph Park in a controversial decision. I get that. The problem is he only had a 5-week training camp. You're supposed to obliterate this dude no matter what. Andy Ruiz is not Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? When Terrence Crawford had the goddamn 2-week notice fight against Bradis Prescott, all right, that's because we've seen what Terrence Crawford actually really is from that point to now, right? Andy Ruiz is not that. You know what I'm saying? So a guy on a 5-week training camp who's not in very good shape, you should have obliterated this dude, man. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't. So that's what makes it worse than what it really is. You know what I'm saying? Is the fact that he let a late replacement beat him, and you're supposed to be the unified champion. Bradis Prescott, he could let a late replacement beat him. Why? Because he's a fucking journeyman. You know what I'm saying? Anthony Joshua's not a journeyman. You're the unified champion. Any late replacements, nigga, you supposed to obliterate that motherfucker. Make him think twice about boxing again. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're supposed to do. But it was the opposite that happened. So, you know, that's why dudes really need to get on Anthony Joshua when it comes to this shit, regardless of the fact that Andy Ruiz has a decorated background in terms of boxing. But you should never, in my opinion, this is what I would have done. If I would have lost, I'd have been like, fuck it, I lost. I want my rematch. That's the only words you would have got out of me. I lost. I want my rematch. You know, y'all, Bo made a good point on the last podcast. A nigga was hugging and kissing them and shit. They holding hands. They jumping around, playing Ring Around the Rosie and shit. You know what I'm saying? Arms linked up, talking about going hang out with the family and shit. Fuck all that. I wouldn't do none of that, bro. I would congratulate him, say I lost, give him a fucking rematch. But Anthony Joshua seems to be overly trying to look like a great guy because he's embarrassed. That's what I think. I think he's embarrassed. He's trying to cope with what the fuck happened. So he's overly trying to look like a great guy. And these UK beta male ass niggas, well, they're cool with that shit.
Oh, man, he's a great guy, man. He, you know, he got smacked and he hugged the guy and said, hey, don't do it again. That's shit like that. Bo, go ahead, man.
Well, it goes a little bit deeper than that. See, when you talk to a UK person, do you know what they tell you about boxing? They'll say, oh, boxing is a gentleman's sport. When the fuck is punching somebody in the goddamn face been gentleman? That's what I would like to know. And they kill me when they say, oh, it's a gentleman's sport. When the fuck has punching another motherfucker in his face been gentleman? But also we have to come up with a new term. You have beta male competitors. And that's what the fuck you guys saw. Joshua's the beta male competitor. Okay, I lost, you know, let's be cool, kumbaya. Like, remember he says that, you know, he don't particularly care for cats getting all in his grill and, you know, talking jazz with him. I don't care for that. Motherfucker, that's the game. You know what I'm saying? Like that, you know, that's the game. So what? You don't care for it. That's the game. But you also got these guys, and it's not just UK guys, it's guys on this side. Because we got cats on our side that are fucking beta males, you know, they get their ass whooped. That's how them niggas want to be. Because they don't, like, you get your ass whooped, they like, all right, man, you beat me. Can we be cool now? Are we good now? No, motherfucker, we ain't good. Hell no, we ain't good. You beat my ass, nigga. I'm coming back. You meet me right here tomorrow. Same time, nigga. I'll be right here. That's why I like niggas like Terrence Crawford. You know, he look at the crowd. Yo, did you get what the fuck you was looking for? Okay. And that's like, these dudes nowadays, dog, they applaud shit that shouldn't be applauded. I'm not saying that he didn't have to be, there's sportsmanship, then there's acting like a bitch. Okay? And motherfuckers got to learn the difference between the two. Sportsmanship, yeah, all right, man, you won, we lost, we talked our shit. Just like Joshua, just like Wilder with Brazzelli. All right, man, yeah, I bet, cool. Right, now that shit Brazzelli was doing, he was acting like a bitch. You know what I'm saying? he was acting like a little bitch. And like 2K said, he was embarrassed. And because he got embarrassed, and because, you know, the realization of, damn, I guess I'm not as bad as I thought I was or whatever, right? He humbled himself. There's nothing wrong with humbling yourself, but you don't humble yourself to the point where you lose your identity, if that was your identity to begin with. See?
He probably, I mean, Brazil worse than that, because ain't no way I'm going to be hugging a nigga that said he want to kill me, and he went up there and hugged the nigga Wilder, bro. I mean. No,
he hugged him. But at the end of the day, man, you know, like I said, cats get mad all you want. And I said this on the show. I had a problem with it because like Prodigy said, I'll be like, all right, man, you got me, you beat me, cool, bet. Rematch, bet. I got nothing else to say. I'm walking to the back. I ain't slapping no hands. I ain't smacking no bitches. I'm out.
Well, I might smack a couple bitches on the way out. You know what I'm saying? I might have to still do that. Make sure I still got it and shit. But
you know, so that's all it is, man. You know, UK people, you know, unfortunately, that's how they are, dog. You know, they believe in that looking overly gracious in defeat. And it's okay to give credit when somebody beats you, but for me personally, I'm never gonna do any of that shit. Like, I don't do that shit, dog. When you beat me, bet I'll be back. Same time tomorrow, I'll be back, nigga. That's it. That's just my attitude, because I'm a competitor.
I mean, but at the same time, let me add this real quick. At the same time, I'm not 100% knocking Anthony Joshua because he could have easily fed into the excuses that everybody is trying to have for him, mainly the UK fans. And you're right, it's not just UK fans, but mainly it's the UK fans, right? You know, we went down all them excuses on episode 30 of the Three Kings podcast on my channel. It was like 10 of them motherfuckers, maybe even more than that. Somebody had another excuse every goddamn day. You know what I'm saying? After this fight, right? And he said, none of that shit's true. I lost. I'm looking for the rematch. Now, my only problem is, like I said, he's trying to be friends with the motherfucker. That's the problem I got. But what I will give him credit for is that he didn't feed into any of those excuses. He could have easily done it. I definitely give Eddie Hearn all sorts of credit because he was like, nah, this motherfucker lost. And he couldn't continue after 7. And the nigga would have got knocked out in the 3rd round if the bell didn't save him. He didn't bullshit at all. You know what I'm saying? So all the people that don't like Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn, you got to respect them just a little bit more, you know, based on their behavior after this fight.
Oh, I see niggas. They ain't letting up off Anthony Joshua. I'm talking about niggas. I'm talking about American boy, African American niggas. And you know where that stem from, bro. I'm like, I just be dying laughing. They like,
I'm not saying they gotta let up on them, but I am saying that you gotta see. The problem is motherfuckers don't acknowledge shit that they should acknowledge, man. See, I've never been that type of dude, dog. I can really not like a motherfucker, right? I could really not like a motherfucker, but if he's doing some shit that I recognize as real, I'll be like, hey, I don't like that nigga, but that shit he doing right there, that's what's up. I'll do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that don't mean I want to punch the nigga in his fucking face if I see him, but I will be like, yo, that's the nigga doing this shit, that's what's up.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm saying when I said that, I'm saying they ain't giving, they just skipping all over the, you know.
Right.
They just like, and it's all because of, you know what, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but see,
it's just like, look, man, the man took his lump, you know what I'm saying? And let this man, you know, be him, because at the end of the day, life goes on, you know what I'm saying?
Y'all know a certain motherfucker that I don't like. My bad, Bo, real quick. Y'all know a certain motherfucker I don't like, you know what I'm saying? And when he went off and tried to do his own goddamn thing that ultimately failed, during that process, I was like, hey, you know, make sure y'all get y'all shit up because, you know, they doing their thing over there. You see what I'm saying? Even though I don't like this motherfucker. So that's all I'm saying. If you a real ass nigga, then you would acknowledge the fact that Eddie Hearn is not feeding into the excuses and that Anthony Joshua's not feeding into the excuses. You can clown the nigga all you want. You ain't got to let up off of him, but just acknowledge the fact. Because understand, if they would have fed into the excuses, the goddamn clowning session would have been 10 times worse. They would have added all of that. So you couldn't make it as bad as you want to make it because they're not feeding into the excuses. So acknowledge that, man. That's all I'm saying.
I'll say it again. I'm glad I associate this with the guys I do, because we unbiased, we straight down the middle, and we call it like we see it. Some of these other guys, they take this shit at that pride for a nigga they don't know or fit or interview a couple times to heart, and it really ain't that deep. Go ahead, bro.
But see, you also got to look at this too, man. On both sides of the fence, whether it's fanboys or haters, motherfuckers got an agenda. So when you have an agenda, this is the type of shit that you get. Because I give Anthony Joshua big ups because in the video I saw, he showed me, okay, he at least has acknowledged where he went wrong and what he needs to do to correct that. I've always said when a fighter does that for me, I will pick that fighter in a rematch of a fight. When they show me that, hey, I saw where I went wrong, I see what needs to be corrected, I'm gonna correct it. Just like I said, hey, if Charlo going to this Harrison fight thinking I ain't got to do nothing different, no, motherfucker, you might lose again. See, that tells me you didn't learn anything from this. So I give him big ups for at least admitting, look, man, like 2K said, not only were there not excuses, but I got to go back. I got some things that I didn't do that I got to work on. So I give him all the credit in the world for that, because at the end of the day, he still, even though cats don't like him, he still got enough popularity where he could have made the excuse. How many motherfuckers have we seen do that? We seen Pacquiao do that hundreds of fucking times.
I thought my calf hurt.
Yeah.
It made me weak.
Yeah, you know, my shoulder, they didn't let me get the shot. And so we seen cats do it 100 times. So you know what I'm saying? So I give them credit for that. But at the end, when when whether it's haters or being a fanboy, when you pushing that agenda, that's the reason why it's hard for motherfuckers to see anything for what it really is and be honest about some shit.
Yeah, but the worst of them all is David Hay, nigga. Don't comment on no James D. Joshua, yo, turtle hurt, nigga. Shut up. But anyway, final topic, man. Steve Rose, he fighting Gennady Golovkin this weekend in Madison Square Garden in New York City. And this nigga ain't got a chance. I don't care what we just watched last week. You know what I'm saying? This nigga ain't got a chance at all. I was watching a little film on him. It's nothing. It's nothing I see that he possesses his skill set to bother Gennady Golovkin. He don't have great footwork. He don't have great power. Not a great jab. I mean, the ring IQ, it could be good against lesser, level fighters, but it remains to be seen how good it is against an elite level future Hall of Famer in Gennady Golovkin. What are your thoughts on this fight that's gonna take place this weekend? Do y'all give any chance? Does y'all give like a half a percent, or is just a complete whitewash? 2K.
Really?
Hey man, just go ahead and talk about it, man. Do something.
You know why this is even a topic? Man, look, Steve Rose was knocked down by a nigga named Steed Woodall.
Woodall.
This nigga name was Steed. Steed. Steed Woodall.
Like STED. Just like
Come on,
STD.
man. I'm just saying, man. That's nigga name. Come on, bro. Easy work, man. Listen, I'm looking at the odds. The under 4 rounds, nigga. Under 4.5 rounds is a minus 200, which means they're like, yeah, nigga, it ain't gonna last 4 rounds. You know what I'm saying? If you take the over 4.5, nigga, that's a plus something. I can't remember, but basically Vegas is like, you better off, picking the knockout in under 4 fucking rounds, man. And I agree with Vegas. If this fight goes past 4, Gennady Golovkin's just trying to shake off ring rust. You know what I'm saying? Which, in my opinion, Gennady Golovkin doesn't seem to be the type of fighter that goes in there and says, all right, I need some rounds under my belt. He's not that type of dude. He's like, man, I'm trying to knock this nigga out. I'm trying to get paid for the least amount of work. You know what I'm saying? So I got to agree with Vegas on this, man. Steve Rose should get done the fuck in under 4 rounds, bro. He brings nothing to the table that Gennady Golovkin hasn't seen. He brings nothing to the table that troubles Gennady Golovkin. I hate this fight, man, but it is what it is.
Okay, what's one thing he does? He do well then.
Nothing.
Please give him that. Nothing. He don't even tie shoes good at the gym shoes.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. The one thing he does well doesn't even matter against Gennady Golovkin.
Well, at least let the fans know so they can look forward to see, if he at least attempted.
He's got a nice hook on the inside.
Well, that definitely ain't gonna do nothing because if he get that close, he's gonna get ripped.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I just said.
Oh, I'm just saying.
Said that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like for people that might not understand. Well, that's what he got to do. To do that, he got to be able to take it to the chin and to the body.
If you don't understand what the fuck, if you don't understand, literally, this is below casual. If you don't understand that Steve Rose should get knocked out in this fight, this is below casual. This is damn near bummy, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You a broke nigga with no money and no job. You that type of nigga. If you can't understand Steve Rose gonna get knocked out, but Gennady Golovkin. Now, this binge that Bo is on right now, since seeing Andy Ruiz is upset, Bo is on this binge where, damn nigga, we might have to worry about Tom Schwartz. He's on this binge right now. So this nigga, from his perspective, might be like, hey, Steve Rose might fuck up Gennady Golovkin.
You had a full camp. You had a full camp 10 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So shit.
Listen,
so wait a minute. Does this mean I get to talk? Do I get
oh yeah.
Hold on. I think we come back to reality, bro, during this fight. We were in fantasy land and shit when Ruiz knocked out Joshua. We come back to reality.
If this is an upset, nigga, I'm done talking boxing. I swear. If this happens, nigga, I'm picking the underdog every time from here on out in all sports.
Let me get my voice together. Emmanuel Navarrete, Julius Williams, Tony Harrison.
All better fighters than this nigga. All better fighters than this nigga by far.
Exactly.
I was quiet for 5 minutes while y'all talking.
All right, go ahead.
What? I mean, you got no respect for the old man?
Oh yeah, you owe this fucking. We'll be here till God come. Go ahead.
Motherfucking Harrison. Then look, you got a Gennady Golovkin who hasn't fought since losing to Canelo. You got a Gennady Golovkin whose mental makeup might be shaken. You got a Gennady Golovkin that for the first time won't have Abel Sanchez with a new fucking trainer. So guess what? This smells upset. Steve Rose gonna come in. His ring walk is the best part of his fight game, right? Because he gonna walk hard. He gonna get in that ring. He gonna throw jabs. Yeah, my shit looking good. Round 1. He gonna throw another jab. My shit looking good. It's gonna be like, yeah, you whooping this nigga ass. Get him. Round 1, right? And Rose is gonna shock everybody because he's gonna go past 4 because Golovkin gonna wipe that nigga up probably 5 or 6. Dog, I watched Steve Rose fight, man, and I watched the fight, and I'm gonna keep watching Steve Rose fight. That nigga cured my insomnia. That nigga.
He's horrible, bro. He's horrible as fuck, man.
Like, oh shit! Is it morning? Oh shit! Right?
The
35-year-old Canadian.
Dude, look,
Mr. Rose.
The one thing he does good, like 2K said, which is his hook, and you had a very valid point. If you're that close to Golovkin, it's game over, right? Yep. You know, regardless of anything, the last thing to ever go on any fighter for you motherfuckers that don't know is the power. I don't care how old Golovkin is, that nigga can still hit. And the one thing we know about Rose is if you hit him hard enough, the nigga go down. He rolls, just like his last name. He rolls on the canvas. And man, I don't see an upset here at all, period, because this isn't Andy Ruiz. This isn't Tony Harrison. This isn't Julian J. Rod. You can make cases for them dudes about who they was as fighters and their skill set level. You can't make that same case against Rose.
35-year-old Canadian.
Hey, man, look, Canadians typically by nature, or at least the history of the sport, have a tough time. You know what I'm saying? And we're talking about, but you gotta understand, I believe he fought in damn, I can't remember the name of that gym. It's in Brooklyn, I believe. I think it is Gleason's. Yeah, Gleason's gym. Yeah. Didn't Steve Rose fight in Gleason's gym? I believe it was either Steve. I think it was Steve Rose, man. That's a product of Gleason's gym.
Well, here it is.
But that alone right there is a good little thing that he's bringing into this fight. I think he is. I can't remember, dog. I gotta look that shit up. No, it's not him. It's not him. It's what's his name? The guy Jamal Charlo fought. The nigga that won the contender.
Brandon Adams.
Yeah, he's the one that Gleason's gym. It was him.
He's another one that's getting busted and taken out. But
so Steve Rose is really ain't nothing. Ain't nothing this nigga can do, bro. He got an amateur career.
Yeah, I heard.
Amateur career, you know. I mean, didn't do nothing like Gennady Golovkin did, but at least he got one.
Yeah, you know, Michael had fun doing this card. You know. Yeah, he do good. Good.
Hey man, cut it out, bro. This nigga is a Canadian national champion 3 years, bro.
Oh shit! Sorry, my bad. You know,
his weight class. All the 5 motherfuckers was in his weight class.
Man, this nigga lost to a nigga named. Oh, he lost to remember Vihender Sai?
Oh my god,
your former wrestler.
Yes, nigga. I remember that dude. He lost to him. He don't. I don't think he boxes. He lost
him as amateur, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because he did beat what the dude did he beat? Damon Nichols.
Stop.
Yeah, bro.
Stop.
That nigga fought Jesse Hart.
Hey, Damon Nicholson gave Jesse Hart all he can handle.
Fuck
yeah, I mean, not Jesse Hart. Was it Jesse Hart or was it
he got knocked out, but it was Jesse, I think. Hold on, look at this nigga. Shit.
Yeah, it was Jesse Hart.
It was Jesse.
Yeah, nigga. Fuck Jesse Hart, boys. Well, nigga.
He lost to this nigga by split. How do you lose to Steve Rose, nigga? Damn.
By split decision. How's it that close, bro? Like, nigga, like, you supposed to be the Dundada in that fight. You supposed to just clear that nigga shit out and then you lost it.
Well, Steve Rose boxed him because DeMont Nicholson is one of them niggas that he goes for the knockout every goddamn fight he fights, man. He's going for the knockout. He just got outboxed.
Stop. Don't stop.
19-0, 10 knockouts. He 5'10", 72-inch reach. Stephen Michael Rose, born in 1984 in Canada. 35 years old.
Bruh, let me tell you something. This nigga, Gennady Golovkin, don't even got to do no tricks. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could just go out there, just basic, nigga, and knock this nigga the fuck out, bruh. Like, Gennady Golovkin got a lot of tricks up his sleeve, man, because of his amateur pedigree. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He ain't got to utilize no tricks. If Steve Rose fucks around and gains some type of ground in this fight, that nigga gonna pull one trick out of his bag, fight over at that moment.
hey, I just found this. Hey, Rose has a 2-inch reach advantage, so they might be able to do something for a round or two.
Man, look. Look, if Steve Rose want to last, nigga, don't try to be no hero, nigga. Just go in there, you know, jab, step away. Don't try. If you see an opening, don't. Hold on. If you see an opening, Steve Rose, don't take it. Don't take it, nigga, because Gennady Golovkin get mad, pull a trick out his sleeve, nigga. The fight is over. For real.
And you just took my point. A 2-inch reach advantage is not enough for a cat like Golovkin. I'm sorry.
Hey, he might be the master of the shoulder roll. He got the roll in his name, man. I'm trying to get him, man.
Because the one thing we know about Golovkin that's not about Rose, Golovkin chin is solid. So that motherfucker will keep coming. All Rose got to do is get too comfortable, complacent, or get in them ropes, like 2K said. Then Golovkin gonna pull one of them tricks out, and that's it.
This nigga gonna get sucked into a fight like Willie Monroe did. Monroe got the shit beat out of him, boy. He decided to fight on the inside. Hey, it's funny because this nigga Monroe ain't really fought since he fought, but he ain't let his hands go since that fight. Yeah, nigga, this nigga Rose about to get rolled for real, bro. Like,
I didn't see him fight Hugo Centeno Jr. this past weekend, but he won that fight.
Yeah, he won. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. Centeno Jr.
Yeah, Centeno Jr. Yeah, was his leg all right this time?
I don't know.
Yeah, nobody keeping tabs on that motherfucker, man.
Yeah, I don't know nobody but DeMond Nichols on his resume. Then he fought Keandre Leatherwood.
That's it. Yeah, I remember Keandre Leatherwood was an ESPN fight nigga like DeAndre Lattimore and shit. Remember him from St. Louis?
Yeah, the nigga, that nigga still fight, bro. I'm about to look him up, man.
DeAndre Lattimore.
That nigga up.
I remember that nigga fought. If I'm not mistaken, DeAndre Lattimore fought that nigga I can't stand. What's his name?
C.J. Powell or something? Or was it
Q Powell? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Q Powell. Couldn't stand him and Peter Quillen. I couldn't stand them niggas, bro. On ESPN, man. That was like 10, 12, 13 years ago. I couldn't stand them niggas, man. I remember that shit though. And then I remember
since 2012 he lost to Carlos Quintana.
Yeah, Lattimore. Yeah, I saw that fight live.
Well, Spinks too. Shit, he fought
Corey Spinks. I remember that too.
And Powell twice.
But the Q Powell fights are the ones I remember. And I was just like, man, I hope this nigga beat this whack nigga Powell, man. I can't stand that dude, bro.
I'm gonna get an interview with DeAndre Lattimore just for you, 2K.
I don't have a problem with Lattimore. I don't like Q Powell.
Oh, I thought you ain't like Lattimore.
Q Powell. Q Powell and Peter Quillen were the two dudes this motherfucker's always
couldn't stand them, bro.
Yeah, that nigga, he was cocky. Didn't he beat Spinks?
Q Powell did, and then he lost to him. They rematched and then he lost to him.
That nigga, he was alright. Yeah, damn, he lost to Lattimore by TKO. Nigga, what?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I was happy as hell, bro.
How the fuck he beat Ishe Smith and Kasim Muma? Fuck out of here. What the fuck?
Well, Kasim Muma didn't throw no punches in that fight.
Damn, nigga, I'm gonna find CJ Powell. I'm gonna tell him my boy 2K want to interview him. Okay, I'm gonna find that nigga for you.
A. Smith, me, he gives up 5 rounds. He gives up 5-6 rounds.
Yeah, he does.
And the nigga got a big ass head.
Yeah, I remember fucking I'm trying to remember the fight. The first fight he lost was Kasim Uma to Q Powell. I remember that shit. I'll never forget that shit, bro. And he fought Corey Spinks. They fought once. Corey Spinks whooped that ass. But that was during the time he started losing. He had lost to Cornelius Bundridge and shit.
Yeah, then he lost to Gabriel Rosado. I remember that fight. Got stopped in that one. Then Dimitri something.
I don't even know. I don't know. But I stopped watching him after he lost to Corey Spinks. I don't remember nothing after that.
And Spinks was nice though, man. I mean, Spinks was nice when he was on.
I can't stand that nigga either.
I don't like them St. Louis niggas.
I was so glad when
I like Devin Alexander, and that's hey
nigga. That motherfucker in that rematch, he come into the ring doing that shimmy shake shit and got knocked the foul.
Knocked out. Yep. I'm so happy. That's another indication of Zab Judah, man. How he's so undisciplined, dog. He should have never lost to Corey Spinks.
Yeah. Never lost. Hey, I'll tell you another cat undisciplined. Jermaine Taylor. This nigga went the distance with Corey Spinks.
Yeah,
who was coming up.
Yeah, that was horrible, dog. That's like, come on, bad intentions.
That's the fight Emmanuel Stewart. Like, I'm done coaching this nigga.
Did he beat Jermaine Taylor by split decision?
Nah. He lost to Jermaine Taylor.
Oh no, he lost. Okay. I looked at the wrong.
Yeah, no, he lost, and that's the fight when Emmanuel Stewart was like, I'm done training this motherfucker. I can't do nothing with him.
Hey man, I got a good forgotten fighter video and article I'm gonna do, man. Verno Phillips, he was a solid fighter, man.
Verno Phillips was whack.
He's alright, man. Man, chill, man. He was alright. He got the shit beat up by Paul Williams though.
You nigga, me and 2K was talking about the motherfucker undefeated nigga too.
Bro, what was that fight, Bo, where Verno Phillips was styling on a nigga and it was a Mexican dude? He ended up knocking him the fuck out.
Oh man,
that's what I'm saying. Verno Phillips is trash, Gerard. It was a fight. It was on the undercard of Mayweather Gotti. And
yes, it was. He's styling. He's doing a Nick Campbell and shit.
Yeah, exactly. He was styling on this nigga. Then the Mexican dude just flipped a light switch. Nigga just knocked him the fuck out.
You sure? I'm looking at his record. He only lost. I don't think he ever got knocked. Well, he got knocked out by William. Well, he got knocked out twice. I'm trying to find that stoppage law.
He got knocked out twice. Nah, that wasn't it.
Nah, he only got it was a no contest.
No,
I don't know what the fuck it was.
Who got knocked out twice?
It say Verno Phillips, but on his box record, all I see is the one to Paul Williams, and then all of them, unanimous decision losses and fucking.
Yeah, let me look at his losses. Then I know he got dropped in that fight. I think it was Silvio Bronco, if I'm not mistaken. Nah, it could have been. No, it wasn't that one. It wasn't that one. Juan Carlos Candelo. That's what it was. But he won that fight though. It was that one. I remember, man. Let me look at this shit real quick. I remember this motherfucker was styling in the ring, and the dude came back and knocked him down.
I saw that shit, dog.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I remember because they show that when Showboating goes wrong. You see it. You go watch it when Showboating goes wrong. It's in there.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna have to look that shit up, man, because I can't remember.
Well, all right, man, it's going to be it for today's show, man. Make sure y'all tune into my bros tomorrow night, Three Kings Boxing Podcast. They're going to turn up and get y'all that fire boxing knowledge like only they can. I appreciate y'all for joining in. Make sure y'all be sure to check out 3kingsboxing.com every single minute, hour, second of the day. We always got something up on the website. Check the Facebook page, check the Twitter and the Instagram, all at 3 Kings Boxing. Yeah, man. Shit.
I had the wrong dude. My bad. It was Vivian Harris. My bad, dog. It was Carlos Mousa knocked out Vivian Harris. That's what it was. Because Vivian Harris was like, he was either undefeated or maybe lost a couple of times. So they was like trying to get, because I remember Floyd Mayweather.
That was a comeback fight, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, they were talking about making Floyd Mayweather Vivian Harris fight, and I remember cats at the time were saying Vivian Harris would give Floyd Mayweather trouble. I remember that because they were both at junior welterweight. And Vivian Harris was sitting there styling and shit and beginning to fight. And I remember the fucking commentators, they were like, yeah, you know, Vivian Harris, man, he gonna be some trouble possibly for Floyd Mayweather. Carlos Mousa fucked him up, bro. I remember it was my bad. Vivian Harris. My bad.
You good, man. But like I said, you know,
Vivian Harris, I remember because you're right. That was his comeback date. He was making a comeback run. And like you said, they was talking about him and Floyd, which to this day I don't understand why niggas thought he was gonna be a problem for Floyd, especially at that division, because that's when Floyd was offensive minded nigga. And got blasted.
Hey, well, shout out to Vivian Harris, nigga. Don't ever do that shit in real life or outside of the boxing ring again, or outside of the boxing ring since you don't fight no more. Anyway, man, like I said, you know, stay tuned tomorrow night for the Three Kings Boxing podcast. Check out the website, threekingsboxing.com. Check out the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Three Kings Boxing. Till next time, we are out. Peace.